The tissue is made up of muscle and fat cells, which the scientists separate from one another. What we need are the muscles, which are then dissected and cultured. Cell culturing is where a cell is removed from a plant or animal and then put into a favorable artificial environment, usually some type of substrate that supplies essential nutrients like amino acids and carbohydrates to grow. All it takes is just one singular muscle stem cell to grow up to 1 trillion muscle cells. The newly grown muscle cells naturally merge together to form tiny myotubes, which are then placed in a ring. The muscle cell's tendency to contract frequently causes them to grow into a small strand of muscle tissue. The muscle tissue tubes are then layered together to form a hamburger shape. One muscle cell has the potential to turn into 1 trillion muscle tissue strands, which is a lot of burgers. The lab-grown hamburgers don't quite look like normal hamburgers and are much paler in color and blander in taste. But as scientists point out, that blander taste is a fair trade for an efficient way to create protein and feed the world's growing population. The price of lab-grown hamburgers has already dropped from $325,000 to just over $11 per patty. While it is still pricey compared to a Big Mac, which costs $4.79 on average, the price will likely drop in the future as production methods are streamlined, meaning that more likely than not, lab-grown meat will be on your dinner plate in the near future.
That's gross.
Nasty.
That's gross.
It's deeper than what we think, though.
It's sizzle.
This is Satan's doing. This is Satan trying to get you to stop doing things how Yah want you to live and eat. Satan is programming and making a new breed of things, and anything that Satan is doing is going to end bad for anybody who's a child of Yah. That's the whole purpose of it.
Bubbles and oozes the way a burger should.
Put some medium rare, medium, mid-well, well done.
But this patty is made of ingredients a cow would happily munch on.
We've extracted those from plants.
The burger begins life as a mixture of protein and the key ingredient, the one that makes this veggie burger bleed.
It starts to look kind of like clean meat.
They nickname it plant's blood, an iron-containing molecule called heme from genetically modified yeast.
And just to point this out, I don't know if y'all know anything about genetically modified organisms. That's something that scientists make. It's basically they saying, well, we can make, like when you go to the store and you read something like peanut butter, no peanut butter. No peanuts is in it, but they have made it taste and feel like peanut butter. There's a genetically modified organism, and you don't know exactly what they put in that to render that. So that's what they're making the blood, and then go back to the life in the blood. No, they're making, but it's a Frankenstein. Everything's a Frankenstein they're making, and I just wanted to point out the GMO. They're making this Frankenstein food.
Is what's responsible for the flavor generation of meat.
This burger is 100% vegetarian. But another Silicon Valley company is actually growing meat using fish cells.
We grow them out into massive numbers, and then all at once we turn them into the muscle, fat, and connective tissue that people want to eat.
They're trying to appeal to a growing market, not veggie.
And the people who want to eat this is the radical veganism movement that are, I'm going to show you a little bit, that are basically brainwashed idiots that are radical. They're basically anarchists for veganism. And you're going to see how extreme they are. And it goes back to 1 Timothy 4, that seducing spirit forbidding man to eat certain meats that Yah has made okay. And they're telling you, no, you're wrong.
Vegetarians, but meat lovers looking for a healthier lifestyle. And they're attracting hundreds of millions of dollars from investors like Bill Gates.
We'll be launching in Canada within the next couple of years.
It tastes meat-ish, It's so juicy I stain my shoes, but some environmentalists say these new genetically modified foods haven't been fully tested.
People are becoming guinea pigs. We are being used to test food that we don't actually need.
The FDA doesn't actually require companies to test new food products, even genetically modified ones.
Our current regulatory system has fallen drastically.
And you can see what's coming during the market of beast time. You know, they're not making, again, it's if y'all know about Silicon Valley, that's where everything's happening. You know what I'm saying? That's New York, Silicon Valley, the start of New York Stock Exchange, Silicon Valley. These are the two things that make America run, you know, world run almost. And when they say they're putting hundreds of $millions into something, that means it's coming. So, and Satan is ready for the market of beasts to get the 5 wise virgins out of here so they can get this ball rolling. You know what I'm saying?
Behind.
Silicon Valley isn't waiting around. The goal?
Completely replace animals as a food production.
You hear what he said? He's not suggesting. He's saying we want to completely replace. And this is you're not this type of vegan, Brother Ishmael. You know, you let somebody alone, they eat the burger.
I ain't know that they try to process meat out of or try to
Well,
make like meat.
Well, if you're here at that time, you know, you ain't gonna have any choice. You know, you're gonna eat it, and or not eat it.
Choice, not eat it.
You know, you have a choice right now to make sure you get up out of here. But because this is what's coming. But my point in showing this, he's serious. He's not making this a suggestion. We want to completely eliminate animal meats, and these are the
hamburgers from a cow.
These are the seducing spirits that are in this time, and you're gonna start seeing how demonic it is as we go on.
Technology by 2035.
They still have.
Regulatory system has fallen drastically behind.
Silicon Valley isn't waiting around. The goal?
Completely replace animals as a food production technology by 2035.
They
still have a lot of ground to make up. Impossible Foods can churn out food.
And when these people say these things, I'm going back stressing they're serious. When they say they got a time date, that they're probably, you know what I'm saying, even ready before that, they say by 2035, we're going to get it. You know, and they're probably more ready than that.
450,000 kilograms of its burger a month. As a fraction of ground beef consumed monthly in the U.S., that's less than 0.1%. Kim Brunhuber, CBC News, Redwood City, California.
All right, we're going to touch it a little bit, and I'm going to do this one, then go into the behavior of the vegan, the extreme vegans. You know, no offense, brother.
And you said that video to the brothers up there in Montana, the ranches up there.
Well,
But first,
yeah, the cattle people are going to fight, but you know, Satan controls the planet. You know, the cattle industry, and the reason why that people are just like we was talking about the other day. You know, we put up their Facebook stuff. Like Satan has infiltrated the churches, made the churches look like buffoons. Now, when somebody say they're Christian, they associate you with somebody like a Creflo Dollar or oh y'all about money, y'all ain't know, you know what I'm saying? So Satan has tainted Christianity. You know, which biblical Christianity is good, but the worldly Christianity, quote unquote, is buffoonery. And the same thing Satan has done with the cattle and food industry. The food industry is so perverted where they're mistreating animals to a degree of disgust. That's why I say, look at this, how they treat animals. Let's not treat the animals like that. Satan likes to create trauma and then say, I got a solution. No, not Satan come in the front door. They come in the front door.
Here I is.
Here I
is. And let them in. He ain't got to break through. Just like the old vampire movies. The old vampire movies. The vampire could come in the house and let you let him in.
That's right. And you know, and then you have then you have the people with the seducing spirits seducing other people, and they playing on people's emotions when they're not doing the right thing. They would say, well, who caused these problems? You did, Satan. And people are just trying to find out a solution to a problem, but they're not going to the causer of the problem. And the causer of the problem will still be there, and it'll be a revolving circle over and over and over.
Let's turn to a story about the business of food. Economics correspondent Paul Solman takes a look at two startups aiming to help the planet and improve health by serving up plant...
And it always going back to, we're trying to improve health. We're trying to improve your health. We're trying to improve your health. Yeah, I didn't tell you to do that. Yeah, I said what I made to eat with Thanksgiving. We understand what we made to eat, but Leviticus law, you know, what he made to eat, the clean food. He say that's what you eat. You ain't got nothing else. Nobody told you to get in the lab, take out some enzymes from a cow's spine and put it in a petri dish and have it culturally and then make meat from that. Nobody, I didn't tell you to do that. Yeah, I didn't tell you to do that. But this goes back to what they was doing before Noah. Like this wasn't no. A lot of people misunderstand. Like this was some not advanced society back in when Noah. They were advanced back in Noah time. They, you know what I'm saying? This technology that we're getting right now is old technology. They were doing so many things back there. You know, they were doing all these things. It's just coming around back.
Based burgers that they believe will wean Americans off meat. It's part of his weekly series, Making Sense.
It looks like a burger, cooks like a burger, bleeds like a burger. Introducing...
See how they keep emphasizing on the blood though? You know how, the plant-based blood, and it bleeds like a burger. Because they like that, they want their blood, you know, they emphasizing their blood.
Impossible.
The life is in the blood.
Burger. It's meat made entirely from plants, invented by a pretty cool scientist named Pat Brown. Hi, Pat. Pat is CEO of a hot startup called Impossible Food, the $300 million venture capital dollars in Silicon Valley to make mock meat.
What's your background? Where were you from before this? I mean, what were you doing?
I was a professor at Stanford for 25 years in the medical school. I just learned to cook.
And just why is a tenured ballyhooed biochemist?
And so when I heard him say this, his background, and he worked for the devil, but his background is in DNA manipulation. So these people Satan setting up, these people are just somebody I had an idea. Satan placed them in place. They know what they're doing. They got them familiar spirits taking that LSD. The demons telling them what to do, just like Bill Gates. You know, people be like, oh, Bill Gates is so smart. Even he will tell you he was sitting in a room taking LSD. So these people are getting their information from demons, and the demon technology is giving to you.
Flipped his super safe career to flip burgers?
I realized that animals are just a prehistoric technology.
You hear that? Animals are prehistoric technology. It's barbaric. See what they're gonna do? That's barbaric. You eat real beef. You're so barbaric. And we're gonna see how I'm telling you this what they're doing right now, man. Like the vegans, I had a hard time looking for a violent vegan video that wasn't overly violent. I had a hard time finding one. They're very violent people. And what happened with Cain? Cain was very violent. He wanted eat the why don't you eat the fruits and vegetables? Y'all say I don't want this. I just gotta kill somebody then. This spirit. I have no other choice. They will kill you. Make note, these vegans, because they have that seducing spirit, they will kill you. I am playing. Cain is their example.
That the use of animals to produce food is the most destructive technology in use on Earth today. The solution to the problem is develop a better technology.
So his lab rejiggers plant molecules to replicate the fleshy flavor and texture, even the aroma. So you get the smell of the burger, right?
Correct. This is an olfactometer.
Impossible's flavor scientist, Celeste Holtz-Scheedinger.
But why is smell so important?
There's only actually a few receptors on the tongue. There's 400 different receptors in your nose.
And what are the basic ingredients? So this is wheat protein.
This is a protein, not starch, from potato. This is a heme.
That's the secret.
The fake blood.
Sauce.
We discovered that heme is the magic ingredient that is uniquely responsible for giving meat its meaty flavor.
Or as the CEO puts it in the company's rhapsodic heme biopic,
Heme is a beautiful iron-containing molecule.
I just want to keep y'all understanding how they always emphasize it on the blood. What he's talking about is beautiful enzymes. He's talking about the blood. The blood, oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, when we put this fake blood in here, oh, it really gives that taste, The blood, the blood, the blood.
And it's essential for pretty much life on Earth.
I see there's actually a spot of blood over there. That's the heme, huh?
Yeah, that red color comes from the heme molecule, same thing that makes your blood red. We've engineered yeast to produce a protein that's normally produced by a soy plant.
Again, a DNA scientist saying that they created a strain of yeast to yield a certain thing that they were looking for. So it's all about genetically modified things. You don't know what they're doing. Just like old girls in the last video. These people are test dummies. You don't know what you eat. But they getting all ready for the mark of the beast. This is the beast food. And this stuff is on the market right now.
Impossible's brown. Heme is the...
Yeah, it's at, you can buy like $11. I think it's at the Whole Foods, some health food stores. And they're marketing it, oh, it's the healthier choice. You're so smart when you do this. You're so you're intelligent. You're not like them. You know, they're eating meat. And a lot of people, people who have poor diets. I mean, America is fat. I mean, feet stuff in their face with all this stuff. It's easy to beguile somebody because like you don't want to look like them. Look at them. All they eat is fried chicken and fried hog maws, pig fat. Look at them. They're very unhealthy. And that's what Satan do. Satan like to put something to the extreme, and then hey, I got a pill for you.
Competitive edge. But competitive with whom? Turns out there's another big player in the plant-based burger business, run by another Brown. Ethan, no relation, CEO of Beyond Meat. He's gone from fuel cells to food, and he too thinks mock meat is man's gift to the planet.
If we can be that group of people that separate meat from animals, that's a net plus for the human race, and it's worth investing in.
Impossible has heme, Beyond Meat, peas.
We can take the amino acids from peas and we can basically reset the structure so that it takes on the fibrous texture of muscle or meat.
They're looking for a valuation that is the next generation down from millennium.
To ship to some 200 high-end restaurants around the country.
And see what they're doing here?
But a new
now, it's a trendy thing. Oh, how I like expensive restaurants. I wouldn't eat that, but now it's at the expensive restaurants. We're hip, and what do the followers like to do? They want to follow Madonna, they want to follow Mariah Carey, they want to follow Michael Jordan, and they all work for Satan. And the dummies, the foolish people, follow them. Oh, I'm tripping. Now it's at what's the restaurant? Cheddar. It's at Five Guys. It's at Arby's. You know what I'm saying? Because I can be like this person, eat what they eat.
That plans to make 1 million pounds of meat a month to ship to some 200 high-end restaurants around the country. But Beyond is already in over 3,500 restaurants and grocery stores, including Whole Foods. And it recently inked a deal with Safeway.
So it's here. And like I was just saying about that 35 years, I said, man, they're way closer to 2035.
Right there.
It's here.
There you go. 2018.
It's
Come
here.
on, they don't hit the half the mark already.
It's here.
Super Rica.
Super Rica? Okay, so they're gaining acceptance, but what do these babies taste like?
Boy, this is like an In-N-Out burger. I mean...
But these quarter-pounders were convincing, and when garnished, indistinguishable from the usual real thing. In L.A., Steve Healy is...
Man, looking like a devil. Look at the eyes. The eyes are the gate to the soul.
Beady eyes.
There's something else in here. I don't want to emphasize something else in here.
Yeah, look at it. Yeah, you see it. Yeah, you see that spirit.
Yeah, go on, eat.
Yeah,
The seducing spirit in what is it? 1 Timothy's. And y'all ain't got to go to, but I just want to emphasize on this because the devil's children are here. You just got to look if you can. Now The Spirit speaketh, especially that in the later times, which are now, some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
CEO of the fast casual West Coast chain Veggie Grill.
How much does it cost? The Beyond Burger is $12.95.
And how much of the cost is the beef that isn't?
It's much more expensive than beef.
But it's not about price. It's about, oh, you have last year's shoes on. I got this year's shoes on. I'm trendy. I'm popular. That's right. And that's why it's starting in California with the celebrities, and we're going to talk about how many celebrities, some of the celebrities that are vegans, they pushing this agenda.
Ground beef is at least half the price of
CEO. This is just the dawn of faux flesh technology with heavy upfront costs.
And we're already kind of pricing where grass-fed beef would price, right? We will dramatically underprice meat.
When you're at the, again, when you're at the grocery store and you don't know no better, and you see some fake beef for $1.57 a pound, and you look at the real beef for $3.50 a pound, oh yeah, man, that fake blood in it, make it taste the same. People don't eat this.
Sandwich? At Vegetarian Clover Food Lab in Cambridge,
And the
Massachusetts.
church ain't talking about this. That's what y'all put on my screen. I was just sitting there, and y'all was like, vegan, Satanism. And I looked it up. I was like, I'm gonna do a lesson on it. And the churches ain't getting these people ready for this.
Massachusetts and its dozen Boston area locations, impossible. Oh, 6 times its fronts, as befits the so-called People's Republic of Cambridge.
And these is the main vegan person. Women, colorful hair. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. This is the main purported of the vegan movement. Women and the
hair color.
yeah, and the tattoos, and we're gonna talk about how veganism goes into spirituality. Because once you, I'm eating, my temple is clean now. Well, let me be a Buddhist. It goes to that. That's the next process of being one with the earth. Well, I want to be connected with the earth. It's just a gradual process. That's why I said when I started looking at this stuff, man, it's some deep stuff, man. Wicca, and they was like, oh, let me be a witch. Let me be one with nature. But a lot of the proponents of these are witches. That's my point I see.
Why meat at all?
That helps bring people to Clover and then exposes them to focus on vegetables.
between. It's a disrupt the food industry.
Thank God for that cheese.
That's his fourth burger. I didn't see him take. He took a bite out of the lab. He took one a few moments ago. That's his fourth burger. He liked it. He like.
Spoken like a true cynic. We need to reduce our meat
Yeah,
consumption.
he a demon too.
Spoken like a true cynic. We need to reduce our meat consumption. And this is one.
And this whole line, and this goes back to this whole, oh, the world is overly populated, and we don't got any resources, and the
we can't make enough beef.
The carbon dioxide and all the air is so polluted. If you just drove up my town, how much land you seen when you drove here?
They call it big skies. It's a lot of land.
Absolutely. I remember I was driving from here to Texas about a year or something ago. Land, honey, just empty. But Satan is telling the people because they don't know no better. Oh, we're running out of space. We don't have the space. We don't have water. We don't have the supply. We got to get you into these cities. We got to get you into these compounds. And this is how we're going to be able to feed everybody and house everybody. It's an all big trick for the mark of the beast.
Strategy to do it. I mean, this restaurant has been doing it.
America throws away, I think they said, this is the government, like 40% of the food it produces. It's no running out of food. America produced enough food to feed Africa with ease. So these are just lies. But it's the agenda.
Long before they had a meat-like product. with great success. I think that millennials' attitudes toward meat eating is changing a lot.
And that's the key market. Millennials, they're out of their mind. They grew up on Prozac. They grew up on I need a quiet space. They grew up on everybody's a winner. They grew up, they've been brainwashed. These are Satan children. These millennials, they're Satan children. And these are who the extreme vegans are. And I'm going to show you in a second. They're out of their mind. The devil is in them.
They're much more troubled by eating animals than we are, and many of them are moving off of meat. The challenge will be making it as cheap as a McDonald's hamburger.
And the challenge of creating not just chopped meat, but steak, and of reducing the saturated fat from vegetable oils in these patented genetic modification that makes the heme. And finally, of figuring out if we and the planet will really be better off without any beef at all. But as Judy so often says, that's all we have time for tonight. So
and we're going to talk about how this is Baal worship. This is worshiping Baal. We'll go into it in a little bit. You'll see, man, this whole vegan stuff, these people are the devil. Now, this is a vegan protest. These people are out of their mind. They have fake blood.
They're butt naked?
They're naked.
Jeez.
Don't tell me I can't show this video, Brother Ismail. You
No, I'm just saying they're out there on
yeah,
the
I just told you these people. Okay, but these, I know y'all go to the grocery store, y'all see the containers, the little white containers that the meat be in. This is what they're in. The little styrofoam containers. They're protesting meat and saying how wrong it is and whatnot, and they're doing it by just putting themselves on display as pieces of meat in the store. So blood is going to be fake blood. So these demons, these witches, are going to put fake blood on these idiots, and they're going to cover them with plastic and a label, like some meat. But these people are these are children of the devil, and some of them have been seduced by this seducing spirit. And this is mild. I told you I had to look for it. This is mild. These people are, and this is the Cain spirit. This is the Cain spirit. The level of demons that are on you to do this. This is Satan mocking them, because this is what Satan's going to really do to the people who are here during the tribulation. And you got to remember, the giants, the Nephilim, ate humans. Trust me, the Nephilims are laughing. They're laughing. This is our food getting ready.
Packing them up right now.
And notice the tattoo. And notice the tattoos on this. One thing about a lot of these vegans, they're heavy. That's when we go into the spirituality. They're every time they have an increase of spiritual knowledge, they say they want to get tattoos of spiritual, Buddha, and all this stuff.
Tattoo, they want to cut themselves and everything.
But it goes with the veganism.
Fire their temple.
Correct. I think they were breathing until they couldn't breathe no more, until they had enough. These people are seduced by demons. Okay, these are children of the devil, and these are millennials. These millennials are very dangerous because they have been programmed to be hypersensitive. They've been programmed by Satan to be radical, extremists, anarchists. They're ready for Satan. They want you gone. take over state. And another thing about vegans, again, how I was talking about the women, most of vegan organizations, they're ran by women. And the effeminate males back them. It's like his effeminate self. Most of them, the males are effeminate in these. The women run these cults. You know, I'm just saying, this is, you study it, you look into it. It's all about backward stuff, and it's the females are hyper masculine, and the males are hyper docile. His back, look how he's standing. He's just weak. You know, he's a weak male, and the woman is bold as a lion. I mean, look at him. I mean, his wrist. That's a feminine wrist. You know, but at least he. And these people are in a space of they worship the creature. They would rather watch you get put a bullet in your head. They would rather somebody get shot on the local news than a dog get hit by a car or a cow be slaughtered for food. I mean, these people worship the creature. And I wanted to do this one more. Meatless birds, vegan, bloody. Dang, I didn't put it. When they went to Chick-fil-A, one vegan had a knife. I forgot to put that one on here. But here you go, yeah. Just be the last video. So these vegans dressed up as animals and laid on Chick-fil-A's floor. And one woman has a butcher knife in her hand, mock slaughtering.
No, it's not.
Covered in fake blood.
No, please.
And she has a butcher knife in her hand right here. Just gone with spirits. Not thinking about safety in a restaurant full of people, children, don't care, because it's a selfish spirit. You should be doing what I'm doing. You should bend to my will. And this seducing spirit is very dangerous. They will cut you. I mean, you don't think somebody's gonna stand in between in public, cover themselves with blood and do all this stuff, and they wouldn't kill you. What happened to Cain? He couldn't take it. You know, turned around and killed David. And that's their spirit. They gonna try to kick him out and they get mad. And I want to show you somehow all the women they didn't attack the female, they attacked the male, the feminine male. Like, they pushed me, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here.
Left the women alone.
They left the women alone. You see how this is, with the veganism, this type of veganism, it's that effeminate spirit on the males that they're just beta males. You know, they work for the females. Yeah, they're slaves. Okay. All right, and all right. Now I was talking to Brother Ron about this too. You probably seen this before, Brother Ishmael. Seitan. This is fake meat. In the health food stores, it's called Seitan. It's a spelling, S-E-I-T-A-N, Seitan. And when I seen this, you know, I'm familiar with this because, you know, they ain't got no health food stores, the ones I like out here, but I used to go to health foods all the time. I used to see that, man. I was like, man, who would buy something that's called Seitan? My point in saying this is Satan has put it in your face. If you don't know what this is, I'm letting you know. It's Satan.
Satan. It says traditions.
Traditional Satan.
Traditional hard.
Okay.
So they don't call it Satan. They call it Satan.
It was invented in Japan by and whatnot, and so they the way they spell it or say it or whatnot. But that's the way of all the words they could have called it Satan, and this is just another sign of how the agenda of what they're doing. They're letting you know what this is about, and this is just I ain't gonna save time, but I just point that out real quick. Of how they're putting it in your face, and this is not a brand. This is a style. So many brands have this style, and this is one of the most popular styles, the Satan style. Okay, and this is another brand of vegan stuff. It's called No Evil, but it's called No Evil. It's a vegan brand, but I picked this one. I emphasize this one because if anybody knows about Revelation 7:3, anytime you see a woman in like Hollywood movie and all this stuff dressed in red, they're doing that on purpose. And this is the harlot. This is the harlot who's riding the beast spirit. And this is what's going on right here again. The harlot of Revelation 17 of Revelations, she's right there, and emphasize on how the bird is looking. He's like, yeah.
Not in that church.
Yeah. She's with the beast. Now Satan's good on playing. If you not study, Satan will put something in front of your face. You don't know what they're doing, but she's with the beast right now and loving the beast. And what does the woman of Revelation, the scarlet woman, who's riding the beast? She's loving the beast. So Satan, this is another vegan brand. It's called No Evil. I'm just putting this out there because when y'all told me about this veganism, Satanism, I'm saying okay, I look into it, and bang, doors wide open. Okay, and now I'll go back to the scriptures. I just want to show y'all how it is, how these vegans are. And this is the mild version. This is very mild. They get way more worse than this. I mean, they burn down farms, all types of stuff. But I'll get back to this. Now we'll go to the liberal mind of this. Romans chapter 1, 18 to 32. Romans chapter 1, 18 to 32. Romans 1, 18 and 32. For the wrath of Yah is revealed from heaven against all unrighteousness and unrighteousness of men, who hold the truth in unrighteousness, because that which may be known of Yah is manifest in them, for Yah hath shown it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Yah head, so that they are without excuse. Because that when they knew Yah, they glorified him not as Yah, neither were they thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, just like what the extreme veganisms are doing, the descendants of Cain, quote unquote, and their foolishness and their foolish heart was darkened, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. What they said that we're gonna make everybody eat this fake meat, and we're gonna make it trendy. We're gonna put it in all the fancy restaurants. And that one woman said everybody's being guinea pigs. They become fools and change the glory of Yah, of the uncorruptible Yah, into an image made like corruptible man, and to birds, and four-feathered beasts, and creepy things. And this is 2:32. Wherefore Yah also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. And this goes on a multitude of levels. They're dishonoring their body by putting this stuff willingly into their vessels, who changed the truth of Yah into a lie, and worship and serve the creator, the creature more than the creator. And this is what this thing is doing. They're just saying, love the creature. They don't care about you, but they loving the creature, who is more than the creator, who is blessed. Hallelujah. For this cause Yah gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change to natural use, into which go against nature, and likewise also the man leaving the natural use of women, burn with lust one toward another, man with man, working things unassembling, and receiving themselves their recompense of their error, which was meant. And even as they did not like to retain Yah in their knowledge, Yah gave them over to reprobate mind. This is why they're in the middle of a city spraying blood on themselves and wrapping themselves like meat, to do those things which are not covenant, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornicating, wickedness, covetousness, maliceness, full of envy, murder, that Cain spirit, debate, deceit, malignant, whisperers, backbiters, haters of Yah, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things. They're inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection. These people have no natural affection for the fellow brother or their sister. None. Implacable, unmerciful, who, knowing the judgment of Yah, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same thing, but have pleasure in them that do them. You eating your meal, they coming up to you, you blood eaters, you blood eaters, you blood eaters. That's out of their mind. They're out of their mind. The next one, this is talking about liberals. Colossians 2 and 8. Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy. Old dude who's a DNA scientist. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of man, after the rudiment of the world, and not after Yahusha. And last one on liberals, because this is the spirit that's on here. You know, the woman who hit somebody with the Jeep Liberty. These are the liberals. Isaiah 33 and 5. 33 and 5. The vile person shall be no more called liberal. These are vile people. Nor the cruel said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak valiantly, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against Yah, to make empty the soul of the hungry. The hungry. Look at that. To make empty, because they about to put it in you. It ain't food, so you're gonna be hungry. And he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. Okay, that's the liberal. So Yah is not for these liberal people. These people are maniacs. They have a seducing spirit on them, and they're basically children of the devil. To be honest, maybe some of them can repent. I don't. But they are with this seducing spirit. Now, okay. Now we're just going to touch on how Yahusha welcomed the sacrifice, because again, all these people are coming with the spirit of Cain. And it's an opposition spirit to Yah. Yah tell them what to do, they don't want to do it. I want to make Yah salad. Yah say no. I want lamb, some lamb chops, some fat. That's what I want, and give it to me like this, not like that, not like how you want it, because that's not Yah's spirit. Ezekiel 45 and 7 to 25. And as we was talking a few months ago, how animal sacrifice is coming back in the millennial, and this is just talking about the prince, which I believe is Yahusha. who's coming back on that one, but this is animal sacrifice in the future kingdom. And if you're not familiar with that, just read chapter Ezekiel, and that should clear up that animal sacrifice is coming back. 45:7-25. And the portion be for the prince on the one side, and on the other side of the oblation of the holy portion, and the possession of the city, before the obligation of the holy portion, and before the possession of the city, from the west side westward, and from the east side westward, and the length shall be over against one of the portions from the west border. I'll skip down to 17. It was supposed to be 17 anyway. And it shall be the prince's part to give burnt offerings, and meat offerings, and drink offerings in the feast, and in the new moons, and in the Shabbats, in all solemnity of the house of Israel. He shall prepare the sin offerings, and the meat offering, and the burnt offering, and the peace offerings to make reconciliation. Yeah, there you go. Tongue twisted. Reconciliation for the house of Israel. Thus said Yah, in the first month, in the first day of the month, thou shalt take a young bullock without blemish, and cleanse the sanctuary, and the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offerings, and put it upon the post of the house, and upon the four corners of the settle of the altar, and upon the post of the gate of the inner court. And so thou shalt do 7 days of the month for everyone that erreth, and for him that is simple. So shall ye reconcile the house. And in the first month, in the 14th day of the month, ye shall have the Passover, a feast of 7 days. Unleavened bread shall be eaten. And upon that day shall the prince prepare for himself and for all the people of the land a bullock for a sin offering. And 7 days of the feast he shall prepare a burnt offering to Yah, 7 bullocks and 7 rams without blemish daily the 7 days, and the kid of the goats daily for a sin offering. And he shall prepare a meat offering of an ephah for a bullock, and an ephah for a ram, and a hin of oil for an ephah. In the 7th month, in the 15th day of the month, shall he do the like in the feast of the 7 days, according to the sin offering, according to the burnt offering, and according to the meat offering, and according to the oil. And I'm pointing this out because a lot of people, some people say, Yahushua didn't eat meat and whatnot, and I'm just emphasizing on this, how Yah want things to be done, and especially on feast days, he want all the males especially to participate in the eating of meat, and that goes contrary to the Cain spirit. Just a couple more. Genesis 18:1-8.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I like what you're saying that too. You gotta look at it too. Yahushua, y'all, that burnt sacrifice, it was meat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It was straight meat.
That's right.
Then you point out to me what I see again is, when in the millennium, when we had the feast days, there's gonna be meat.
Right there.
That's why I like you saying that. That's what y'all showing me about the meat.
Mm-hmm. And it goes against this extreme seducing spirit of veganism. These are extremists. And the scriptures say, man, if you want to eat vegetables, that's fine. But these people look down and forbear people. Oh, don't eat meat, and they're about to take meat off of the table in a second. They say no, nobody gonna eat this again. All right, 1-8. And Yah appeared unto him in the plains of Memory, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day, and he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him, which were Yahushua and 2 angels. And when he saw them, he ran to them from the tent door, and bowed himself towards the ground, and said, My master, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourself under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. And after that ye shall pass on, for therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said. And Abraham hasted into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hasted to dress it. And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them, and he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. I'm just emphasizing about Yahusha eating meat. Luke 2, chapter 2, 41 to 49. Chapter 2, 41 to 49. And it came to pass that while Elizabeth heard the solution of Mary, the babe leaped in her womb. That's not 2:41, 49.
So Luke 2:49, 41.
This is when they went to the Passover preaching of John. Let's go down the wrong chapter. But the point is, Yahusha, I'll just skip that one. This is Exodus 23:14 to 17. The point was, Yahusha, each year they went to go keep the Passover, and he had to eat the lamb. So, so some people, say, well, Yahusha was a vegetarian, he didn't eat meat. It was a lie. He had to keep the Passover, and to keep the Passover, he had to eat the meat.
No sin.
Because trust me, because he even waited. That was the verse talking about. He waited for a day, and he was talking for 3 days. He was talking to the Pharisees and the scholars and the teachers, and he was amazing them as he was speaking to them and breaking things down. But if he didn't partake in the eating of the lamb, they would have said, "Hey, we don't need to talk to you, man, because you're not even eating the lamb. You off." So I'm just pointing that out. Yeah, you had to fulfill the law. He had to be blameless.
He fulfilled everything without sin.
That's right. So he ate meat. That was the point. 23:14, 17. 3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto me in the year. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread, which is the Passover. Another way of saying Passover, unleavened bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I command thee, in the time appointed of the month of Abib. For in it thou comest out of Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. And the feast of harvest, and the feast of first fruit labors, which thou hast sown in the field, and the first of in gathering, which is in the end of the year, when thou hast gathered in thy labors out of the field. 3 times in a year, all thy males shall appear before Yah. So that was just, reinforcing about, Yahusha take on eating meat. He ate meat, and it was mandatory for him to eat meat, what I'm saying, and I'm sure he wanted to eat it. It wasn't no issue. But this is just a lesson y'all put on my spirit about veganism, how, they're transforming people's minds to be against Yah's order, and they're just creating death. Frankenstein death is coming, and Yah just showed me that, the extreme veganism and 1 Timothy 4, the people, the seducing spirit is here right now, and they're out there seducing people, and they playing on people's emotions, because they putting themselves fake blood naked in the middle of the street. That's playing on people's emotions. People like, well, I don't want to eat meat. What I'm saying? You're emotional manipulating. You're telling people you shouldn't eat it. So it's just that seducing spirit that's here right now, and just to be on guard on it. And I hope it was edifying. Y'all got something out of it. Hallelujah.
All right. Bye. Awesome. Just trying to tell you, just like how Bethel comes there, the teachers come with some topics that we already don't study in churches and stuff. I ain't gonna be hearing these topics in churches and stuff like that. And I thank Yahuwah for this, that, see how they try to make people eat stuff, man, that's not even healthy, man, that is man-made. Anything is man-made is of the devil anyway, How you can make somebody eat something like that and tell them it's going to be healthy for them and good for them. But I want something that Yah has created and made, and I want something that our ancestors have ate, and then they wouldn't die of that, So I thank Yahuwah again for the study today, and I praise His name, for like stuff like that, just to see how evil Satan's trying to do and conform man's mind, seducing spirits. So again, the house is open for anybody. TV Land speaks salvation to you. All you gotta do is repent from your evil ways and call upon Yahuwah. And then, like I said, when you repent and turn from your ways, then call upon me. I will tell you to be baptized in Yahushua's name for remission of sins. And that's how we do those things. So if anybody, TV Land, you got the number, you just go back, rewind back and get to the number. Give me a call and I'll talk to you more about what you must do to be saved. He says, Yahushua said, you believe and is baptized, you should be saved. Peter said on the day of Pentecost, told him to repent, everyone, and be baptized, everyone, in the name of Yeshua for remission of sins, and you should receive the gift of Rakadish. So that is, you find your ways not right with Yah and not pleasant. What you got to do is call upon His name, turn around and say, Yah, I'm sorry. You repent. I don't know what sins you did. You need to go before Him. He knows what you don't did. You know what you don't did. And He's right there, and all you got to do is come to Him. Come to Him and say, Yah, I have repent. I've done the evil before you. I've done wrong. Forgive me what I did. He will forgive you. And then you say, Bishop Ryan, I confess my sins before my Father, your Father. And now I want to get my sins washed away. And what you do, we say, well, he said you don't did that yet. Now ask you what name. You got to get baptized, and then you'll say Yahushua. He's the one that died for my sins. He was the one on the cross. He's the one that took the sins away from the world. I said, okay then. Then I will baptize you in the name of Yeshua for remission of sins. Right? Out of witness, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word be established. Again, I think again for Shabbat night, it was a great night tonight to be in the house of Yah. And I'm thankful for the Dollar Ring and our teacher, Fabian Welts, with the study of Beganism. Make sure you write that down for me so I can write it down. I don't even know how to spell it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Beagle. I can say the Beagle, the dog, the Beagle. It's crazy. But like I said, just to see that at Silicon Valley and how you said that, Silicon Valley and New York where your money's at. And Silicon Valley got all kind of money going up in there, so they're going to do all kind of things they want to do. You got Hollywood right down the street from them. They promote with Hollywood, so you get all through the TV, so they can promote it like Brother Faye was saying, they got it all in the high-class restaurants. So your high-class people are doing it and stuff, and eating that kind of stuff. Then they got it all in the hamburger. They make sure you're eating hamburgers. That's why everybody like hamburgers. Man, it made me sick. I like hamburgers, and now you just turned me off now. Oh, man. But I want to thank Yahushua for the study tonight where I can see that, where they try to, like you said, if you read Apocrypha, how they were going into beasts and changing the form of beasts and stuff like that. They're doing the same thing again right now. The mechanic works of it, changing the molecules and the cells and orchestrate the structures of it, and to make the blood and all that stuff to make it work. And they're doing it already. They're making human beings and animals already and instruction stuff. They try to be like Yah, which they cannot be like Yah. So like I said, when a man touches something, he defiles it anyway. We are cursed anyway. Only one that cleanses us through Yeshua. He makes us whole. He makes us righteous through Him. With His blood. Without Him, we ain't nothing. So you go through something without Yah, You, like you said, you're a thief and a robber again. Thief and a robber. Yahushua is the way, the truth, and the life. He's the way, he's the truth, and he's the life. Without Yeshua, you can't do nothing. And that's what you're doing. You're doing things without Yah. You're going your own way, and you got your father. He's a liar from the beginning in his Hasatan. That's who your father is. He's a father of lies. He's many of it. And like you said, you're the off-breed of it. That's a shame, man. The people running, like you said, I appreciate that. They can see $1.50 or $3.50 for the pound of beef. Which one? They ain't running for the dollar burger, man. The $3, $50, nice, juicy cow burger or the veggie burger for $1. And that's all I got is $1. I guess I eat that.
It's not a veggie burger. They are veggie burgers, but the other one is meat organisms just created in the lab.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get off the ticket. I don't even want to think about that. That just ruined my stomach. That just twisted my stomach, man. Look at that stuff. You done made my stomach all them turn and everything. That thing nasty, man. See how it's fried? They ain't got no juice off the burger. I like to see the juice coming off the burger at least, you know what I'm saying? Or you flip it over and you like, you know what I'm saying? And take a big bite. They eat it, it looked like it was still raw.